as our tendencies when we try to go after something. Like I have a tendency of doing something extreme. Like so when I want to build, like I'm building my bird cage. I'm like going all out and researching. I want to build the best cage ever. Then I realize, you know what? Sometimes you think about, Shaitan also tricks you in doing good to do extra good to the point you're distracted from the normality, right? So this brings up to our, one thing that I keep in mind: keep your good deeds simple, right? So let's talk about that a little bit. So what is simple deeds looks like concept of sprinting during these periods of mercy, right? Okay, there's so many consistent good deeds that it's right, it's happening, but we don't realize it's happening, right? So what are some of your advice that you would give audiences, keeping your good deeds simple, a way to approach God? Because sometimes, we want to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in them. We do everything, right? Just lock down everything. I'm just going to become religious overnight.
Mhm.
How can we use that simplicity of our good deeds and actually get to Jannah consistently? I think that's something to really ponder on, and your thoughts on that.
Mhm. Very good question. MashaAllah.
And I want to actually know, what is that one thing you do? What's your, do you have any, you don't have to share your good deeds. I'm just saying like something consistent, something small that you do in your life that, you can advise, say, this is what I do.
Right.
You know,
So I guess I'll break it up into two parts. One is some ideas for some small good deeds, and then two, something that I may incline towards, if that's okay.
yeah,
So
yeah, sure.
okay, Jazakallah khair. For the first component in terms of different small good deeds, uh, I think step one is maybe for us, at least for some of us, to reframe why do we think it always has to be something grandiose? Why do we at times, think that it has to be above and beyond? This has nothing to do with your bird cage. May Allah bless your bird cage. The birds are not always. May Allah give you the best birds in dunya and akhirah, and
I
and
mean,
just put tons of barakah in your efforts. But I think like step one would be maybe to reframe how we think of Allah. Allah is not
mm,
necessarily expecting us to do like super high levels of good deeds. If a person feels like they can and that's what they lean towards, that's their prerogative. But oftentimes you find the Prophet ﷺ, you know, encouraging his Sahaba, his companions, at times to actually do less because his goal for them is longevity,
mm,
is more so the long term. So there was one companion, Abdullah bin Amr ibn al-As, who he had gotten married, but then after a little bit of time, his wife went and complained to his dad and said like he fasts all day every day and he prays all night every night. Like, where's my
yeah,
husband? So then his father went and spoke to the Prophet, and then the Prophet told him like, do less, right? Do in terms of fasting, do a little bit here, a little bit there. And then the companion said, but I can do more. And the Prophet said, okay, then this is the next level. I can do more. This is the next level. I can do more. And the Prophet said, no, the most, that you should do is the fast of David, alayhi salam, fasting every other day. So
mm,
the Prophet advised him in that way regarding fasting and Quran,
yeah.
different good deeds. So the Prophet's goal is longevity.
Oh,
So different small good deeds in terms of Quran, I really think an ayah a day goes a long way, right?
you-
Just connecting with it, to chew on it, to reflect on it, and to make it meaningful, right? To
yeah.
to really ponder over it. In terms of prayers, to start with the basics, um, the five daily prayers. If a person's not necessarily there yet, if they can, start with one, and
Mm,
whatever works for them. Maybe for them, what works easiest to start with,
yeah.
maybe maghrib every day, right? So they start with that
Mm.
and they try to lock it in, and then naturally things may go from there.